Welcome to The Gist. I'm Danielle Bean, and I'm here with Carolee McGrath and Rachel Balducci, my co-host. Hi. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
We're
Christmas to you.
Celebrating Christmas here on The Gist today. Gistmas, if you want to call it that.
Let's keep it at Gistmas.
Okay.
Keep the gist in Gistmas.
So yeah, we've got a special episode today. We're going to be talking about Christmas traditions and the kind that we had growing up. We'll talk a little bit more about our own family traditions in the next part. But right now I want to know from you, let's start with you, Carolee.
Okay.
What kinds of things do you remember about your traditions? Growing up in an Italian family, I'm sure you had some traditions.
What, it would be food or something?
Something to do with food.
Yes, and you know what? It's so, for me, I mean, I know, I don't know if it's necessarily healthy, but Christmas, you know, I think about all the foods and things that my grandmother used to make, my nanny, and she was right off the boat from Sicily, and she would make, you know, all the fishes on Christmas Eve, which is a big
it's like 7
tradition.
fishes
There are 7. I mean, we've definitely pared it down over the years because it just becomes, you know, gluttony, and you know, we just can't. And it's a lot of work. And
What
it's
are the
expensive.
7?
Oh, don't test me.
Come on.
Okay.
I don't know, but let me tell you, what we have now is we have clams and we have shrimp. Now, some Italians going to call in really mad that I don't know this. We have lobster. We have, what's the,
Oysters? Do you have oysters?
we don't have oysters.
Squid.
We have, yes, we have that, which was never my favorite. So my mom has tapered it down over the years to what we like and what, you know, we don't like. But I always remember my grandmother spending a lot of time in the kitchen on Christmas Eve. And both sets of grandparents would come up on Christmas Eve, and it was just so much fun. And they'd all be cooking in the kitchen and singing, and it was just really neat. You know, it's just something that I'll never forget. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's neat. That's
How
sweet.
about you, Rachel? What do you remember?
Gosh, we don't have that. I'm thinking I'm such a bad Italian wife. I know, I want to learn that stuff.
All we did was eat, but go on.
I'm the Balducci. I'm a bad Italian mother. Miss Swenson Sweet. We have a set menu that we always had, and it's neat because we still kind of continue it in our family. But growing up, we always, you know, would go to Christmas Eve Mass and then have clam chowder and then cold cuts, and most of us would opt for the cold cut sandwiches. And you know, but the big thing for me that stands out, one thing that we always did when I was growing up, is in the morning we would check to see if baby Jesus was in the creche, and I love that. That was the first thing we did before we went out into the great room to open presents or anything, is we would run to the Fontanini set, and there Jesus was.
Beautiful.
He had appeared in there. So very sweet, you know, I love that.
Yeah, we had something similar where during Advent we would have an empty creche under the tree, and when you did little acts of kindness or some extra chore or something, offering it up for Jesus, you'd get to put a piece of hay, which was a little string, you know, yarn or whatever, into the manger. And it was really a nice thing for me because it really emphasized that these kind things we do for each other, or the sacrifices we make, are really a comfort to baby Jesus, you know, and that you build up that kind of little crib for him, and then he appears there. My mom would put like a little doll with like swaddling clothes on. It was super sweet, and it really made an impression on me as a kid growing up, that part of it. And we never did like the Jesse tree or those really intense liturgical kinds of things, but that was really meaningful to me. And also just the Advent wreath.
Yes.
We did that growing up, and I always thought like it, you know, it was like magical to me. And I knew my parents were the ones who changed the candles over, but it felt like magic on Christmas morning to like wake up and you don't have the purple and pink candles; it's all white candles because white's the color of Christmas. And it was just a really beautiful kind of tradition.
I love that. That reminds me of another one we had. We always would sing "O Come, O Come, Emmanuel" at dinner before we said the blessing, and I still do that with my family. And then we have an Advent book that my mom and dad bought my first Christmas. I'm the oldest of our eight Swenson kids, and each day has like another reading from Isaiah, and it you know, follows you through, and the pictures correspond with, you know, Jesus and Joseph and Mary, and it's really neat. A couple of years ago, my mom looked and she couldn't find another copy of this book, so she had color copies made and had them bound and gave one to each of us. So now each of us has one in our home, and it's neat. You know, but the funny thing to me is you find as you become a mom and you run a household yourself, like I hear that story about the yarn, I'm like, I love that. I would totally forget to put the yarn in the thing, you know, like the follow through. But I think it's neat if your family does even just one special thing that our kids will take with them as they get older. But you know, for each of us moms, it has to be something that we know we can have the follow through with. That's the challenge, I think.
And that's the funny thing that changes in your perspective. I mean, we'll talk about our own traditions in the next segment, but just growing up, you never think about the kind of sacrifice that
Yes.
your parents put in to make all these things happen, whether it's the food or the special Jesus thing under the tree or whatever it is, that you don't really know that. And, you know, what about gifts for you guys? Did you open gifts on Christmas morning? Or
We did both. We did a present, I believe, on Christmas Eve, and then we would do the rest of the gifts on Christmas morning. And I think, and, you know, if I'm remembering correctly, because I'm starting to lose it here, I think we would ping pong, sometimes we'd go to Mass on Christmas Eve, and sometimes we would go on Christmas morning. But it was always something, you know, so special, you know, to be able to celebrate as a family. Especially, I just remember my Italian grandmothers. It was just so awesome to have them, you know, part of our lives, and to be there on Christmas, and of course my grandfather as well. So that was really, really a nice tradition to have.
You know what we did? I had 8 siblings, and we would all draw names to get a gift for each other, so that you didn't have to buy for everybody. And even just when I was little, you know, we'd be getting cheap, you know, dollar store kinds of gifts for each other, but we would open those gifts on Christmas Eve. I remember specifically my mom saying she didn't want those gifts to each other being lost in the great big, you know, Christmas morning crazy. So that is something I really have held over the years, because I remember so much, like, oh, he got me that one little thing he knew I liked. And, you know, that's really just the meaningful part of gift giving that sometimes gets lost in all the materialism and, you know, the craziness of Christmas morning times a number of kids.
It can be crazy. I mean, it's funny when you think about, you know, if you come from a large family, it does not take much for it to become out of control.
Before it's too much, because it's times this number of kids.
Yes, and you want to keep it simple, and it's still, you know, those are my memories of just walking out Christmas morning, and just the tree, you know, we got a huge tree, and there just being presents everywhere, you know, and then, you know, we start to have kids, and 1 or 2 kids, I'm like, golly, I remember we must have gotten way more stuff. Well, all of a sudden I start crunching the numbers, and it's like, even just 3 gifts each or 4 gifts each, and, you know, there you go.
I know.
It's covered,
it just adds up. Yeah. So, how about you with gifts? Did you say, do you open them on Christmas morning?
Eve and Christmas morning
you do the
as
both.
well. Yeah, but I just always remember my mom always saying, whose birthday is it? Whose birthday is it? You know, to try to avoid the materialism. And Jesus, Mom. And, you know, that always brought it back to, you know, why we were celebrating.
My mom did a similar thing where on Christmas morning she would tell us to go and, you know, say like a prayer to baby Jesus on his birthday before you're allowed to open anything. And, you know, as kids, you're really more than willing to do that, you know, because you want to recognize that it's Jesus' birthday, and that makes it meaningful to a kid in that way. So.
Yeah, Paul's dad has all of his grandkids, before we start opening gifts, say, "Bless us, so Lord, and these thy gifts."
Oh, that's a good one.
These thy gifts that are all over the house.
Yeah, it's cute. It's really cute.
A little bit crazy, yeah. Well, we'll be right back with more Gistmas.
Baby Dreams doll. My Baby Dreams doll was my favorite gift.
I had a Chatty Cathy doll, and she was just beautiful, and she had this pretty little bow, and so she was my absolute favorite.
She was soft, and she looked like a real baby, and she had like that soft skin. I don't know how they did it.
But I also loved a Berenstain Bears kind of stuffed animal that I got, and I never even named it, but it was like one of my favorite childhood companions.
Gosh, I loved getting hair stuff when I was growing up. Like the smell of electronic stuff being plugged in, like hair curlers and a new little curling iron.
Yes, I wanted a real typewriter. Like not like a toy typewriter, I wanted a real typewriter.
Where I asked for one Sandy Patty album and I got a different one. I was a little bit disappointed, but.
What'd you get instead?
A toy typewriter.
What was your reaction to that?
What is this? And then my mother quickly scolded me and said, you have to be grateful for what Santa brought you. And I said, okay, I'm sorry.
You know, I think maybe there was a time, like this is being a little bit older, when I wanted the acid wash jeans and I got the pinstripe ones instead or something.
I don't really remember that ever happening. I think I always got what I wanted most, which was a really exciting day, and it was always crazy in our house. And I wasn't the kind of kid who really would get my heart set on one particular thing. No, it's true though, I'm not lying. I just think I've always been that kind of person who's kind of easygoing and easily pleased.
And that's the gist of it.
We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings to you wherever you are. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Welcome back to the Gistmas. We're going to talk about Christmas as a mom and the ways in which it's different from when you were growing up. We've already talked about our growing up traditions and how nice that was to have everything magically happen for you. And then you get to be a mom and you realize, oh, all that stuff doesn't just happen, right? All the food, all the traditions, all the masses and clothes, and it can be a little bit stressful, but we talked about how it's important to kind of pare down. So Rachel, why don't you get us started? What do you do in your house? What have you decided is worth that investment?
Well, prior planning prevents poor performance. That's my big thing. My dad always said that to us growing up. Is it realistic? No, but I'm going to tell you. In my mind, when I think of something, I'm learning this the longer I'm a mom and a wife and in charge of the, all this kind of stuff. If I think of it and I have the energy for it, I do it then, because I am learning, like, no matter how much we try to do, December 1st comes around and it's just crazy. It's just the bottom line. Whether you've done 90% of what you need to do or none of it, it is crazy. So the more I can get done on the front end, the better. And then the big thing I've done, I like to dress my boys in matching outfits. And they kind of don't let me do it so much anymore. But I simplify as many things as I can in life. And like for them, on Easter and Christmas, they all wear matching blue blazers and a tie. And little things like you iron the shirts maybe a week before Christmas Eve Mass. That kind of stuff that just makes you feel like you're pushing yourself over the edge. And I really do try to keep it simple. That's my other motto, KISS, keep it simple, sister. Like, the more things I can streamline in a good way, so where it's not bare bones and it doesn't feel like any kind of celebration, but just to help myself stay sane. I'm all about that,
Yeah.
You never, but you can say that you're going to keep it simple, but I never keep it simple.
It's
never.
So
it always.
hard.
It always
There's
like,
so many distractions.
No, and there's so
always
much
another
momentum
thing.
that just keeps.
Maybe
like,
if
it's
you
like
tell
right
yourself it's an option, it'll help you stay sane. Like, I don't have to make this a production. If I do, that's fine too. But it's an option to not make everything
crazy.
even if we end up doing it.
One of my kids just last week said to me, "We never made fudge last Christmas," and I was like, "You know what? We survived. It was okay.
The show went on.
Yeah. And how about you? Do you make all those fishes yourself?
No, I go to my mother's. Are you kidding me? No, I know it's great. So she does that, and I used to do Christmas Day for my husband's family. So there was a lot of cooking involved there, but they didn't have the same expectations. God bless you guys. As the Italians do. When you're an Italian and you don't show up and cook and have everything there, it's like they're whispering. They're whispering behind your back. Come on, you Italians, you know what I'm talking about. So there's definitely my lovely, lovely Irish in-laws were so gracious. They always loved my food. Oh, this is awesome. So the pressure was off in that sense. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of joking about the competition with the Italians, but there's a little bit of pressure that is self-imposed, certainly. So that's one element, is all of the food and all the cooking. And there's nobody that's saying you have to make this, you have to make that. It's kind of in my head. So I do have to, I know, you're shaking your head at me. So I do kind of have to back off that a little bit. But I think the most stressful part of Christmas for me is the Christmas picture that you send out like a mass mailing. I like that if we stay married year after year, God bless us, because that causes so many fights.
When do you take it? Do you take it in December?
Well, you know what? Last year we took it like a running start, like it was for my birthday, so it was in September. But sometimes we do it at Christmas time, and I'm always at the end of it, I'm screaming at kids, smile, and they're like, oh,
I've been there, I've done that, I know.
And then I'm like, why am I doing this?
We had that happen last year, December 1st. I had a photo session lined up where we went to the place that we hike all the time. It's gorgeous out there. And sure enough, it's like we get in the van and Paul and I get in this huge fight. We almost never get in arguments. We pull up, I'm crying, like trying not to cry because I had really put some effort into my makeup. And the boys were all complaining, and Paul said something to them like, "We're going to go get our picture taken and you're not going to complain." I said, "It's not a picture, it's a photo session." And everybody
Picture
freaked
makes
out.
it sound way too simple.
How long are we going to be here? And the good news was the photographer was a good friend of mine. She said, "I am used to mom showing up in tears, like it's going to be okay." And sure enough, like 10 or 15 minutes in, we kind of were like, we're going to survive this.
To know that that's a universal
I
kind
think
of
so.
experience, because we definitely have done that. The kids joke about it. The kids dread the Christmas
Oh,
picture.
gosh.
Like
Like,
the year I
what
had
is
them all
the big
posed by the
deal?
lake, and it was like 20 degrees with the wind blowing, and I was like, "No, you look better with your coats off." And and I was like, what makes us do this crazy stuff? I
Because
don't know.
people need to know what our children
They need
look
to
like,
know
what
exactly.
our family looks
yeah,
like.
exactly. And this is what a lot of people. It's the only thing they're going to see from you all year. So I think
It's really
that's where the
important.
pressure comes from. But
think
you know,
so.
this past summer we went on family vacation. We took a picture, just sort of a snapshot on the beach.
And
all of
everyone
us were in
looks
it, and
good?
I was like, Christmas picture, and the family
done.
rejoiced. Like, yes, we don't have to go through that.
But you
this
do have to,
December.
like, some years I try to be, I'll keep it simple, and like we got a picture taken at the tree farm, and I was like, this'll do. And somebody else in the family had to point out, like, right before I got the 100 copies made, there's like a tree growing
Oh
out of the
my
back of your
gosh,
hair. So
I know.
sometimes it's worth the effort to really take it slow and get exactly what you want. So
Well, it's really about deciding what's important to you.
Yes,
you
it
know.
is.
And if the photo's important, the photo's important. But you got to allow for that and allow for the stress that you are very likely going to feel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every year. Well, we have presents,
Yes,
ladies.
we do.
on
We
this
have
table.
some presents. I can't wait to open them up. We're gonna have Carolee go first.
yeah, like give or let her
Yeah,
open.
let her open hers. This one's from
Yes.
Rachel and
Oh.
me.
We got you a gift, something that's near and dear to your
Something
heart.
very close to your heart.
Uh-oh.
She already knows what it is.
It'll make your heart sing. It's really special.
It's very, very. And she can even find it in there.
I love you guys!
Dunkin' Donuts. The gist brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts.
Tell them about your
American girl.
how you
No
got Dunkin' on the
Starbucks.
brain usually at the end of the day.
I
I know.
do,
Well, we
I
just
do.
remembered how we're always sitting here and it's late in the day when we've been.
And I want an iced coffee.
and you start
before I
talking
hit
about
the
Dunkin' Donuts
road.
and
This was
dreaming
so
about.
generous.
We
and
just wanted to fund your habit a little bit.
Well,
Just a
thank
little
you.
bit, yeah. Hopefully
will
it'll
fund
take you
it.
far.
Oh, I hope so. Okay, so this next one then is for Danielle from Rachel and I.
Here
And
you
there's
go.
many treats.
Very
Now,
nice.
I asked if we were allowed to re-gift. I know it's a little bit tacky. I just want to let you know that
Wait, this-
not that Carolee McGrath ever does something like that. Now, that's an original, so that
I
has
know.
to be
This
open
looks
last.
like very.
That's
last.
last. Okay,
Okay.
that doesn't have a signature on it yet.
Okay.
The bags are re-gifted.
Oh.
So if there's any cards at the
Bags
bottom,
are
You
re-gifted.
should.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Oh.
Pumpkin spice.
Right, and it smells
scented
good.
candle.
Oh
That's
my
beautiful.
gosh.
so
Nice.
Very nice. Yeah. And there's something else in here.
oh, keep digging, keep digging.
Oh, it's a beautiful ornament. I love
Yes.
this. Christ the Savior is born.
See, it's his
This is
birthday.
beautiful. Oh, thanks so much. And now let me open the
Rachel
personalized
picked that
part.
one out. Yeah, she did. Yeah. Oh wait, there's one more little thing
there
that
is?
was re-gifted.
Oh.
So don't eat it, but I think it's pretty funny. Yeah.
Don't eat it. Gifted edible?
But just read it. Oh no, there's stickers too. I forgot. There's stickers too. But read the candy cane. The candy cane has a Jesus message.
These are complicated.
Yes.
Our gift was much simpler.
Oh.
Jesus loves
Well, you don't have to read all of that,
know
but yeah.
very much.
Yeah.
Jesus is the light of the world.
See?
He let his light shine in
Thank
you.
you.
Jesus warms my heart. These are very cute. My
Yeah.
kids-
Just don't eat the candy cane, but it does have a Jesus message. You don't have to-
Oh, about the candy cane.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I've read this before. Yeah.
Oh, it's the message of the candy cane.
message.
Yes,
candy cane.
the Christian message behind the candy cane, and that we will not eat.
Well, that we will not eat
don't
because we
know
might
how
get
long.
sick.
Don't
Yeah,
eat
yeah,
it.
yeah.
But
Okay.
enjoy that gift from us, and we
Oh,
love you very much.
That's beautiful. Thanks, guys.
Guys.
Oh wait, there's an original.
Oh, yeah, the
print.
artwork.
There's an original print. Yes.
Wow.
I cannot
Yes.
wait to see. Was
If
this
you could-
Madison? That did
It might
this?
have been.
It might have been
It
Madison.
might have been my artiste.
It's like a diploma.
Yes, it is. Sort
Oh,
Oh,
my
close
goodness,
shot of this
is
guy.
So sweet.
Yeah, colorful.
Oh, I love
That
it.
is so great.
She just we got the donkey in there.
She
and
is in
everything.
the Christmas
Jesus,
spirit.
Yes,
Oh.
and a horse.
Oh.
And a horse. I think we might have heard from the peanut gallery out in the audience.
Don't forget, and is this a koala bear?
No, that's
cat.
it's a lamb.
A
It's
lamb, a lamb. Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
super sweet.
And we
Thank
have
you.
something
and
else
thanks to Madison.
for
What
Rachel.
amazing. Oh, thank you, girl.
From Danielle and
Rachel
I.
From the two of
Aw,
us.
Yes.
Thank y'all so much. Well, I'm going to open the artwork first.
Oh boy, you know it might be a little similar.
Oh, really? This will be great.
Oh my gosh, look what you got!
So
Merry
nice.
Christmas!
Oh, I like the lettering's different though. That's
yeah,
my
totally.
favorite kind of
Special lettering. And the
see?
lamb is a
Lettering
little different
with
too.
the dots.
if you
Yeah,
notice.
the
And we
animals
can do
look
one of those
different.
spot the differences.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh,
We'll put
that's
this on
so
Facebook.
sweet. Thank you.
Originally
Real
made.
cute.
Okay.
Love it.
Oh,
Oh, stickers.
Holy
Oh,
smokes, you
beautiful.
got an
Thank you,
Danielle
girls.
picked that one out.
That's so sweet.
Price
Thank
is
you,
Savior's
Danielle.
born.
Oh boy. Thank you. Oh, I love it.
I can't
Ooh,
believe
that smells
it.
really good.
Wow, you have to say that for
Aw.
Thanksgiving.
You're so
Nice.
thoughtful.
See, you light one of these and you
It's
don't have to bake.
aromatherapy. Yes.
Well, that's perfect for me.
It does calm you down. It's a nice smell.
I know.
Yeah,
It's
no, I love
beautiful.
that. Thank you so much.
Oh wait, and there's the non-edible edible.
Oh.
And
Oh yeah, don't forget.
don't forget that. Just make sure the
non-edible.
kids
there it
don't eat it. Yep. Yep.
But
Oh,
it is a good
right.
little
Nice
teachable
little
thing. So
message.
A
sweet.
candy cane from
Why-
the time
now,
of
why
Jesus.
that
can't-
was regifted
why can't
from
we
my
eat
CCD
this? I
class.
wanna
Well,
know.
because it's a year old. Don't
Oh,
worry.
okay.
I'm sure it's fine.
That one came out of my
If you
CCD
really
stash.
need
We
it,
have the
Rachel.
not 5-second rule. We have the year rule.
Yeah,
in
well,
our
it is
house, so-
sealed.
It's in cellophane and it's a year.
I think it's,
Sorry.
yeah, we're good to go. Well,
Yeah, we
thank
need
y'all
to order
so
some
much
more.
for
Yeah,
this.
thank
It's
you,
so
guys.
sweet.
Yes, Merry Christmas.
Fun to celebrate Christmas here on the set.
It is.
Don't go away because we have much more to come on our Merry Christmas Gistmas.
We have a treat for everyone today. In Studio A, we have Maddie McGrath, who will join her mom in singing some Christmas carols. Feel free to sing along at home.
O holy night, the stars were brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and ever pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth.
Thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder
And we want to thank Kathy D'Agostino for accompanying us for our caroling, and of course we want to thank Miss Maddie as well.
Great job. From all of us here at The Gist, we want to wish you a very Merry Christmas.
And a blessed New Year.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
everyone.
Christmas.